Let's listen to Danny Lakey and turn it up to the ceiling. Everything could go so wrong, but you'll be so happy. It's Danny Lakey, yeah. It's Danny
Right across Australia, this is the Danny Lakey Show.
It's Danny Lakey.
Well, dare I even say that there's an update on the Blokes and Their Mustard Facebook group. Just plenty of posts, plenty of activity going on, and it's very hard to keep up with considering that Facebook operates 24 hours a day, whereas the radio show only operates for 3 hours a day. So it's hard to squeeze it all in and make those time windows marry up. Also, if you like Seinfeld, then you'll love fill in the blanks. That was literally the question that was asked, and the answers will be heard in the podcast. There's also disappointing news for Victorian golfers who are being forced to urinate on the golf course and do their number twos in the bunkers. But first things first. Comes a time in every man's life where he's probably got to rebrand his smell. Sometimes he'll get used to his smell. He'll rest on his own laurels when it comes to the odours that he's emitting to the general public. And like most men, you start out as boys, don't you? And you probably, like grade 6, grade 7, your mum might buy you your first little can of Lynx Africa. That's always a big moment in a boy's life. You overspray that, apply that very liberally to your hairless pits. As a youngster, you really create an identity with that Lynx Africa, don't you? You become the guy at school, the Lynx Africa man. You get changed after PE. Just make sure that everyone's within an earshot of you spraying your Lynx Africa after a sweaty session. That usually goes from primary school, usually through to your mid-high school levels. And then it's time to grow up a little bit, isn't it? It's time to graduate from the Lynx Africa club. It's had its purpose. It's played its part. But it's time for a man to move on. In your late teens, your early 20s, I personally moved to more of a Gia option in terms of deodorant. Gia is a budget version of Dupe, which you'd spray on your pits. It doesn't last as long as your Lynx brands, but it does the job for a while. And then, of course, you usually get some sort of cologne as well for your birthday or Christmas or your 17th or 18th birthday. Usually your auntie or uncle buys you a cologne. You think, oh, well, things are really starting to take a turn around here. I'm really a man of the house now, aren't I? So I used to pair the Gia, which was the cheap man's Dupe deodorant, with the actual man's Dupe cologne for a while. I just stunk of Jerry Dupe for years. Oh, you could smell me before you saw me. Oh, what's that? Danny Lakey smells like he's probably a couple of 100 metres away. He'll be coming. He'll arrive in the door any second now. The Gia and Dupe boy for many years. And it's had its moments, had its success. People were about, what's that? Oh, that's oh, that's sweet. That's fruity. What's that about? Well, what? The cologne or the deodorant? Because they come as a combo, baby. Gia and Dupe is what it is. And then I think it was when I was about 24, 25, I decided to make another change. I graduated to your Rexona Men's Advanced Protection Sport, the 24-hour antiperspirants. It offered ultimate protection. I was becoming much more sweaty. I was becoming much more active. I was a Rexona man through and through. And I also graduated to the Davidoff Cool Water. If you're not familiar with this cologne, fresh, sharp, simple, mint and green nuances, refreshing notes. This has been my identity for many a time now. Until yesterday, when I was perusing around the Coles deodorant section and realised that Rexona have a new brand in town. Rexona Antiperspirants Coconut 72-Hour Protection. Coconut, baby. It's probably the tropical twist that I need leading into summer. And I thought, well, if I'm going to shake up my deodorant, if it's time to pass the baton onto the Rexona Antiperspirants Coconut 72-Hour Protection, it's probably time for a new cologne as well. It's about time that I reinvent myself. I mean, I'm 32 next week, for goodness sake. It's time to step up your cologne game. You can't survive on Davidoff Cool Water forever, mate. I mean, it's had its time. It's served its purpose, there's no doubt. But it's time for a brand new smell. And on 13353, I'd love to just get some advice from the lads out there and the ladies. What's your signature spritz and spray?
Ooh, that smell.
What's your deodorant paired with your cologne combo for those special nights, for those times on the town? Are you more of a Nivea paired with a Calvin Klein sort of situation? Are we talking a Paco Rabanne, maybe with one of your standard Norska deodorants, etc.? 13353, signature spritz and signature spray, because I'm in the market for a new spritz. I'm looking to go down to Chemist Warehouse this weekend with a wad full of 50s, and I ain't turning back. Maybe your Tommies, your Hugo Bosses. I've heard some things out there with your Jean Paul Gaultiers. Probably looking for something more of like a wooded tone, more of like a sandalwood, a herbaceous huntsman sort of vibe, leading into the next probably 8 or 9 years of my life. So it's a big decision. 13353. Are you a man who's spritzing and spraying? If so, why so, and what's the combo? Or are you a lady? And what drives you wild when your man spritzes and sprays? Nick, good evening to you.
How you going, mate?
Yeah, good. There is a second Nick a little later on in the phone line, so apologies to second Nick, who's probably off the air right now saying hello and a little bit confused. Just want to make sure that he doesn't get too confused. But you're Nick number one. You're spritzing and you're spraying.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now I think I've just confused us all. So what are you spritzing and what are you spraying?
Well, what I'm spritzing is Ralph Lauren Black, mate.
Ralph Lauren Black, and I'll just put that down here. RLB. What's the price range we're talking here? Your 30s to 50s, your 70s to 100s?
Oh, mate, 70 to 100.
Great. I mean, and someone said you can't put a price on smell anyway, can you? Because
That's it. When you smell like a man, and the women notice the way you smell nice, you know, you can't put a price on that.
Now, what are we talking here? Your more celestial, aromatic, fruity smells. Your mild citruses.
No, you don't smell like a nursery in spring. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just it's just an underlying fragrance, you know?
Yeah, and I like that you're working within the seasons as well. See, I've just been sort of every decade I've been rebranding, but you seem to be varying from season to season, which would probably explain why you're getting more ladies than me at this stage.
Oh, mate, jeez, it's been a long time. I wish I was.
Welcome to the club.
But it's just part of fashion, isn't it?
It is part of fashion, and it's on the short list, there's no doubt about it. Dallas.
G'day, mate.
G'day, 13353. You are spritzing and spraying. What's your cologne of choice?
Look, I've got to be honest with you. I've been on it for a while, but it's Fahrenheit by Christian Dior.
Oh, I like that. I got a little worried about the Fahrenheit, but I've heard of the Christian Dior before. And that's a big brand. That's a big word-of-mouth brand.
It's a very spicy, citrusy smell, so it's pretty heavy, so only 2 sprays.
Only 2 sprays. See, this might be problematic for me because, I mean, it's easy to say it now, you and I, here, you know, when the blood's not rushing through our heads. But when you've got that bottle, oh, God, it's hard, isn't it? 1,000 horses in hell couldn't hold me back from a triple spray. So you're just going each side of the neck as well, or you're hitting your wrists?
That's all you need, each side of the neck.
God, not even one little spritz on your pubes, because I'm a sucker for the pubes.
Nah, not even that.
Wow, it's a big call, and I'm putting it on the short list as well. Nick number 2 in Brisbane. Hello.
Yeah, g'day, mate. How are you?
Good. What are you spraying? What are you spritzing?
Mate, I want you to get on the safari.
Okay, another brand I haven't heard of. Is this a Chemist Warehouse sort of situation? Where will I find this?
No, this is a little bit flash. You need to go to your David Jones or your Myers for this one.
Been a while.
You're looking at about 80 to 140 for a bottle.
Okay.
It's got that nice woodsman scent.
Yeah, and I was searching for that woodsman scent. Your dark, warm, sexy huntsman sort of thing.
That's right.
Mainly, I don't want to go too hunter though. You know, I wouldn't mind just a splash of fruit, almost your hunter-gatherer hybrid.
Correct. And you know what this is really good for? This is good for getting out and doing some slaying.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. It's been quite a while. I mean, lockdown's been tough on all of us. So I don't even remember what it's like to slay, to be honest. That's the sad truth. Reese in Brisbane. Hello.
Hey, Danny. First, you got to start with the antiperspirant, mate. You got to go QV, odorless, so you can only smell the cologne, and you've either got Boss Bottled or Stronger With You by Giorgio Armani.
Huge. This is a man who knows his way around his spritzes and sprays. So what you're doing, you start off with a deodorant that almost neutralises everything, back to square one.
Well, no, because if you just want to spray your pits so you stay dry there, because, I mean, let's face it, it's unattractive if you don't. Yeah. But you need something that's going to be odorless so it doesn't take anything away from the stick cologne that you're going to wear. God, all this time I've been trying to combine two things, been treating my body like some sort of salty cocktail, trying to pair It's not an amusement park, Danny. You got to behave yourself.
God, it's so true.
Danny Lakey on Triple M.
Victorian golfers upset that they're not allowed to use the toilets. Oh, you would be. Oh, you'd be pissed. Victorian golfers were fuming on Thursday after ridiculous COVID-19 restrictions.
After this COVID thing, traffic is getting so bad.
The banning of the use of all indoor facilities, including the Dunnies. Melbourne golf clubs welcomed back guests after the Victorian government allowed them to open up for the first time in several weeks. However, indoor areas of the club, including toilets, remain shut to patrons under the restrictive guidelines. Royal Melbourne Golf Club captain Andrew Kirby. Oh, the captain's spoken. Called the restrictions a joke and a breach of human rights. I know the blokes can do a number one in the trees, but there are lots of women playing as well, he said. Yeah, okay though. I mean, I think we've all realised that ladies are more than capable of doing number ones in the trees. It just determines how many glasses of champagne are in use at the very time. Albert Park Golf Course resident professional David Diaz said the toilet ban was quite ridiculous. I know some courses, they have to lock their toilets. It's just odd, he said. On Thursday, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews said he'd asked the public health team to look into the toilet pack. Can you just look into this again, please? I mean, I think we did look into it the first time, didn't we? Probably just look into this again. Toilets, divided by cases times the amount of players plus water drunk equals... No, toilets will stay shut, I think, Mr. Andrews, at this stage. So for now, unfortunately, the golfers are going to have to continue urinating on the course, which actually can be quite tricky. What do you reckon?
Wind's blowing to the right, so if you just aim slightly to the left, you should straighten up pretty nice.
And what, just curve around that tree?
Yeah, you should just swing back, I reckon.
Okay. And what do you think? Pitch it up high?
Yeah, the higher the better. Just relax.
Okay.
Plant your feet, pop it up. Yep. Nice. Stay with it. Breathe. Keep your hips forward. Drive into it. Nice.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah. Nailed it. Good job, man. Up top.
Yeah, and no dribbles on my golf pants.
You're on.
The Danny Lakey Show Catch-Up Podcast.
All 180 episodes of Seinfeld land on Netflix today. Oh, huge. It finally happened. Seinfeld has dropped on Netflix 2 years after the streamer paid $500 million for the rights to the iconic sitcom. Netflix will now be Seinfeld's streaming home for the next 5 years. Frequently regarded as one of the greatest TV comedies of all time, Seinfeld was, of course, created by Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David and ran for 9 seasons from 1989 to 1998. That's what the 90s were about. And Seinfeld. Never quite understood it as a child, like 8 or 9 years old. I was like, why's this always on at 6:30? What's so good about this show? And then as you mature, you become older. But really, oh yeah, I see what they're getting on about there. And there's no real premise, is there? But the characters, oh yeah, oh the subtext. You can't get enough of that. Inspired me to go to New York, P.S. Over the course of its run, Seinfeld won the Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series in 1993, Golden Globes in 1994, Screen Actors Guild, SAG Award for Outstanding Performance in a Comedy Series 95, 97, 98. The series won 10 Primetime Emmy Awards, for goodness sake, and 68 nominations. You can't argue with that. Never really trusted anyone that said they didn't like Seinfeld. Sort of like, there's that debate, are you a Seinfeld person or a Friends person? And don't get me wrong, I've got no beef with Friends. I think that's great as well. But some people who just shun Seinfeld because they're a Friends person, don't know about you. Don't know about you. It's just something about if someone says, oh, mate, love Seinfeld. Oh, yeah, real comfort watching, isn't it? Or how's this? What about the Soup Nazi? Oh, you remember the Soup Nazi? How good was the Soup Nazi? No soup for you. Like, yeah, there's a connection all of a sudden. You're like, yeah, all right, you like Seinfeld, I like Seinfeld. Now we can move on with other social issues. I feel comfortable in your presence. I guess on 13353, and there's 180 episodes of Seinfeld. That's fine. But what happens when I finish watching those 180 episodes of Seinfeld this weekend? Where to next? People who like Seinfeld, what's another good sitcom to watch? A little Seinfeld community on 13353. If you like Seinfeld, then you'll love ... Fill in the blank. Second I hear someone likes Seinfeld, my follow-up question will always be, oh, have you seen Curb Your Enthusiasm? Which they'll usually say, yes, from the same creator, isn't it? Yes, yeah, very similar tones, isn't it? But yeah, that's funny as well. And they'll usually say to me, oh, do you like The Office? I'll say, yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, of course, Seinfeld wasn't that mockumentary style, but I too enjoy The Office. We'll get into a bit of Office chat. All of a sudden, we're best friends. I'll then might say to them, have you ever seen Peep Show? They go, yeah, love Peep Show. That's good fun. We talk about Peep Show for a bit. We think the conversation's over, and just as we're about to say goodbye, that person might say, have you ever seen Flight of the Conchords by any chance? I'll say, yes, love Flight of the Conchords. Oh, if you like Seinfeld, you'll love Flight of the Conchords, won't you? So anyone who likes Seinfeld, I think, just has the same sense of humour. 13353. If you like Seinfeld, you'll love ... Linda in Runcorn. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, good. You've got similar energy to me. I already feel a deep sense of spiritual connection. So you like Seinfeld,
I love
obviously.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, nice. You probably binge watch a couple of eps over the weekend.
Oh, we watch Seinfeld. We quote Seinfeld every day.
Oh yeah.
Like there's not a day that goes by that the Seinfeld doesn't come out. Something out of Seinfeld doesn't come up in conversation.
Very nice. I'll pick your brains quickly. Favourite character?
Favourite character? George.
Yeah, it's got to be George. George. Went through a little Kramer phase during my youth.
Oh, Kramer is good. Yeah.
Actually definitely went through an Elaine phase, come to think of it, during my youth as well. But quickly back onto George as well. So you like Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld. We've established that. What's another situational comedy that you think people like Seinfeld?
I mean, this is a show that, I have two shows that I was going to put out there. One of them, I think, I'll put out the one that I think is the least that people know about, Kim's Convenience. and I know it sounds weird, but Kim's Convenience, I think it's available on Netflix. And it's about a Korean family that moved to Canada and they opened a convenience store. And it's an amazing comedy. It really is. And if anybody likes Korean type things and understands the Korean language, it really is good. And it's all in English. It's an English comedy.
Sounds like it's right up my alley, because I get Koreans. Annyeonghaseyo to all the Koreans out there as well.
Yeah, annyeonghaseyo.
Annyeonghaseyo. Have some soju from time to time.
Yeah, the other one that I was going to say was Superstore.
Okay.
And Superstore is a really good series. It's got a whole heap of people that work in like a Big W type in America, and it's an awesome comedy as well.
Well, you see what's going to happen here is people who don't like Seinfeld will be going, "Oh, big whoop! What a bunch of people work in Big W." You see, the thing is, the people who like Seinfeld understand that you can have a show literally about nothing and it still be quite entertaining. So the thought of just adding a Big W to the mix actually is very exciting for us Seinfeld folk. Good on you, Linda, writing those down. They're putting it in my Netflix diary. Calvin in Melbourne. Good evening.
G'day, mate. How you going?
You can just feel the vibe, can't you? A mutual love for Seinfeld, just a match made in heaven already.
I love it. Amin and Anwar.
Amin and Anwar, yes. And the Chinese restaurant, the parking garage, and the contest. Probably my favourite episode of all.
That's it, mate.
Yeah, well, what else would people who like Seinfeld love?
Letterkenny. It's a Canadian... one's got about 9 seasons, but only 6 episodes a season.
Oh, I like that.
Has no real storyline, but is a great watch. Has swear words, though.
Well, that's okay. That's a step up because we're older now. We're more mature. I think it was good to start with your G-rated Seinfeld sort of stuff where the rudest they got was sort of like speaking in double entendres about masturbating in the contest. But they never said the word, and that was what made it magical. But I think I'm ready now for the next step with Letterkenny to have some more cuss words introduced into my vernacular. So I'll definitely put that one down as well. Jenny in Glenorchy, do you love Seinfeld?
No.
Oh, okay.
I only saw it a couple of times, but I couldn't get into it.
Oh, Jesus, Jenny. I mean, we've never been further apart before.
Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, you must like a couple of sitcoms or a couple of shows. Favourite show?
One of my favourites is an Australian comedy show that goes for an hour. Back in the 90s, I think it was. Kingswood Country.
Kingswood Country.
It's hilarious. And you know what? If it was shown now, the political correctness people would have a field day with it.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't mind that. And I'm just having a look at it now, actually. Kingswood Country is an Australian sitcom that's screened from 1980 to 84.
Ted Bullpitt.
Ted Bullpitt, yeah. Ross Higgins, of course, the blustering suburban father. No?
No, I don't know his proper name, but Ted Bullpitt is his character's name.
Ted Bullpitt. Maggie Dents. Maggie Dents.
Yeah, probably played the wife.
Yeah, right. Sheila Keneally.
Probably played the daughter.
Judy Farr.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
Ross Higgins.
Yeah, oh, come on, Danny.
Well, they're all there.
Well, good.
Want to make a Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook page.
Well, not only did we make the Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook page, we've turned it into a group. We've turned it into a community, and it's now 153 members strong. So you don't see many communities like that anymore. Just blokes with a share and a passion for mustard, sharing their ideas, posting their photos. A couple of recent posts, one from Chris Marinopoulos. He posts quite a lot now. Chris Marinopoulos is probably our most frequented poster at the moment. He found some pale ale mustard to be a part of his steak dinner. So that's obviously the caption. There's a visual element to go along with that. You'll obviously have to go on Facebook if you want to see it. It's very hard for me to describe, but a well-cooked piece of steak. But let's face it, we're not here for the steak, are we? We're here for the mustard. It's a well-spread piece of mustard as well. Someone's commented on that, saying the best mustard. You like to hear that. Ricardo Gamirez, he's actually posted before, and I know so because he's just posted, okay, my first post was a burger at McDonald's, but here is a lamb rack with mustard and breadcrumbs. I use something a bit more tastier than breadcrumbs. I'll show you the results when it's ready. Cheers, Muzz Bros. So he's keeping us on tenterhooks. This was 2 hours ago, so I'm expecting the lamb rack to be out of the oven any moment now. And we're going to get an update on the Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook group. He's also commented on his own comment and saying, note that the original was just American mustard, but today I've decided to add a bit extra with the hot English. And then he's actually commented below on that comment and saying, can't tell you what the rub is though. Family secret, with 8 pissing himself laughing emojis at the end. So we won't pry you, Ricardo, this time. Simon Krasnoff has just posted a fun fact for Friday. There's no rules against facts in this Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook group. He said in Eastern Europe, mustard-coated plasters are used in place of heat patches. Beats Vic Vapor Rub any day. Yeah, true. Didn't know that.
Mustard alert! Mustard alert!
Oh, hang on, brand new comment coming through here from Dean. He says, welcome to 7 of my mates to the Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook group. Mustard on, blokes, with a hot dog emoji. So he's obviously shared the page within his community as well. That's how you spread awareness, through word of mouth. And we've also got Daniel, who's posted, apologies if someone's already discussed this, but could we make up a list of mustards and have a vote to determine the people's favourite mustard? What do you think? To which people have obviously said, yeah, bloody great idea. Great idea. So as the administrator and the moderator of the group, I've probably got to figure out how to make some sort of poll, some sort of survey. So that's fun. Something to look forward to for the weekend. If you want to join the Blokes and Their Mustards Facebook group, I mean, what's on Facebook, isn't it? We're still at the stage where it's not an automatic approval process, but I'll approve you.
Triple M.